Hi, my name is Linry, and this is my review of Apocalypse Nail Polish's Shaun of the Dead-land collection. Now, I did receive these polishes in PR from Apocalypse Polish with no obligation to share my swatches or make this video whatsoever, so thank you so much Apocalypse Polish for sending these my way. All thoughts and opinions are my own. This collection will drop September 19th, and each bottle of polish will retail for $13.50. Let's get into it. So this collection is actually split in half. We're gonna start with Dawn of the Zombies half. The first polish that is up is Dawn of the Dead. It is this lovely brown base polish with these like aqua to tealy to green turquoise, you know, all the greens and blues. Holographic asymmetrical flakies running throughout. Now this was the first polish I tried out in the entire collection, and this just made me think of like elegant coffee, like graceful coffee. Like it just had like a coffee vibe to it, and it just felt really cozy to me. I found that each coat went down well, and that the second coat did fully cover up my spaghetti Tupperware. My stainage. I don't know, I just have a real soft spot for brown polishes, so anytime I see a brown polish and a green polish combined, I'm just very happy. I swatched out Apocalypse Polish's Dawn of the Dead in 3 coats. And obviously I did not reach opacity with this. It is a jelly-based polish. It is not designed to be built to opacity, but I felt like each coat went down nicely. I feel like you can get away with wearing it in any amount of coats. And as it has these holographic little glitters running throughout, I would suggest a peel off base coat, but that's because I'm lazy. You can soak this off with acetone. I'm just not going to. Oops, didn't talk for long enough. Shame, cats. The next polish that is up is Fred, if you're real, you better tell me right now. Now, before we even get into the nail polish, I have some personal beef with this polish, okay? I'll probably take a photo of it, but okay, we see my swatch stick, right? My lovely little swatch stick, right? I'm taking a photo of it because now you really can't see it because I've got the thing. I had to make the text smaller on my swatch stick to fit, okay? That's just a personal beef because the name was so long. When I first printed it out with its first original text, it was too long that it fully covered up the entire swatch stick. Why? This is what I would consider kind of like a salmon-y polish. It is so lovely. It hurts my eyes. This makes me think of like candy sand. Like I could see this on like a fantasy beach and I would like to eat it. You know what I'm saying? We all want to eat sand, right? Primal urge. Now the brand describes this as an orange pink brown glitter bomb with orange brown and pink glitters that are mixed with a large particle orange yellow pink shimmer. This has everything. I just wrote down kitchen sink and ouch my eyes. I also found that this polish was quite thirsty, which I do expect with this amount of reflective glitters in there. So you would want a glitter grabber or to double up on your top coat. I don't own a glitter grabber, so I just doubled up on my top coat. I could get Fred, if you're real, you better tell me right now, opaque in 2 coats. And as it is this crazy reflective glitter bomb, I would suggest a peel off base coat. Reflective glitters are sharper than normal glitters, so if you wiggle back and forth too soon, you have the potential to damage your nail plate. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a huge deal, but it is something that could happen. If you want to soak off this polish, just take your cotton round, leave it on your nail for 3 to 5 minutes, then wipe away. Patience is key with that. Or peel off base coat. The next polish that is up is You've Got Red on You. Now, this is actually my first ever thermal polish. Technically, by the time this video goes live, I will already have a swatch and review for a different thermal, but this was my very first thermal, so I was quite excited for it because, you know, I've never purchased one because I'm always afraid that they're gonna die and I'm gonna get too attached, and I found my experience with this to be quite positive. Now, unfortunately, in 3 coats, I could still see visible nail line, but I do believe that would be resolved with a blurring base coat. This is a deep pink polish in the cold state and a kind of beigey nudie pink in its warm state, with a delicate pink shimmer running throughout. If you are a pink lover, this is 10 out of 10. Now, I think this would be pretty good in like some cherry blossom like nail art to get like a little peekaboo effect and whatnot. I think this will be so cute in some nail art. I swatched out You've Got Red on You in 3 coats. And again, like I said, I could not build it to opacity, though that was in the warm state. In the warm state, I could still see my visible nail line, but in the cold state, I could not because the color was so much darker. But when it was in the full-on warm state, I could not. Huh, strange bumping into you here, you know, in a live swatch video. I didn't talk for long enough. Oh my god, this is why no one else does it this way. The next polish that is up is Double Tap. Now, this was one of the 2 references that I got. I'm not really like a horror kind of like film kind of girly. I'm very terrified of things. My nightmares become so extreme, so I just try to avoid horror films at all costs. But I instantly understood this reference. I showed these polishes to my fiance. This was the only one he did not clock. I'm like, how did you not clock Zombieland? What? Now, this is a soft pink base polish with a strong blue shimmer running throughout and a lot of pink holographic glitters running throughout. Another kind of cherry blossom-esque polish that I feel, it just makes me feel like cherry blossoms, and I just really love its elegant touch. Now, this is also a glow-in-the-dark polish. Let's go! I absolutely love glow-in-the-dark polishes. Unfortunately, this could not be charged with my flashlight, my LED lights, or anything like that. It could not be charged that way. It could only be charged with a UV light or direct sunlight. That is the only way I found that this polish actually charged. Now, I found that I had this polish on for around 10 minutes, and when I took it off, it was still at that point glowing with the UV light. So I feel like this polish will glow for quite a long time, and it did glow blue, which looked really nice. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this polish also does piss me off just a teeny bit, just a tinge, because I can't place it. All right, this polish makes me think of Christmas. It just has a taste of Christmas, and I don't know why. And because I can't place why it makes me think of Christmas, it makes me a little irrationally angry. I'm just like, why do you remind me of Christmas? That's just my personal feelings though. I also could not build this to full opacity. I could still see my visible nail line, but I do believe a blurring base coat would resolve that. I swatched out Double Tap in 3 coats, and as it has these hollow glitters running throughout, I would suggest a peel off base coat. You could soak it off with acetone. I'm just not going to. The next polish that is up is Train to Busan. Busan? I don't know. Who's saying? I know it's not a part of the polish, but I absolutely love the label on this polish because it shows like a little magnet, but it's like pulling up the logo. That's so cute. I love little details like that. That immediately took my heart. I was like, oh, the magnet's pulling the name. It's really cute. I love it so much. I know that they actually have another polish in their catalog called Upside Down or something like that, and they put their logo upside down on those bottles. That's cute, okay? That's cute. Now, this is a silver base polish with a strong pink yellowy shimmer running throughout. I find in the cat eye state that pink really just spreads out and that silver pigment comes up, so you're getting this really cool dimension on your nails. Though I vastly preferred this polish in the cat eye state, I feel like it had like alien vibes, like so much so. Like I felt like I was on an alien spaceship, especially in the velvet state. It just felt so clean and just foreign, you know? I just vastly prefer polishes in the velvet state, so I think I'm just always gonna gravitate towards the velvet state. I just feel like that gives the polish just a much better like dimension, and it just is a lot more fun to look at. I could get Train to Busan opaque in 2 coats, and as is this shimmery metallic polish, it was easily removed with acetone. Now for the other half of this collection, the Night of the Zombies. The next polish that is up is Night of the Living Dead. Now, I'm gonna show you guys just one little swatch. When I did my first coat of this, I was blessed by the mouse. I got a little Mickey Mouse on my nails. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now this is another thermal polish, and in its warm state, it is this like green apple colorway, where in the cold state is very much this kind of rustic orangey red color. There's also green, orange, and pink glitters running throughout. Now I got poison apple vibes from this polish. This polish felt so much like a poisoned apple, and I really, really liked it. When I first took it out and I looked at it, and I was like, I didn't think I was gonna like it, you know. We're all a little biased. We pull out a polish and we're like, I don't know if I like you. Then I put it on my nails and I grew to appreciate it. I was like, okay, we can vibe. Now this polish is also glow in the dark. Unfortunately, another glow in the dark that cannot be charged with LED lights or a flashlight. It has to be charged with a UV light or direct sunlight. And it glows green, but it is that grainy glow. So if you don't like the grainy glow, I don't care. I love a glow in the dark polish no matter what. I love glow in the dark polish, so yay. And I found that with these huge glitters running throughout, I feel like a glitter grabber or doubling up on your top coat is necessary unless you want those kind of like little bit of texture on your nails. I found that I had to double up on my top coat to just get a smooth finish, so a glitter grabber will probably be something you want. I could get Night of the Living Dead opaque in 2 coats. And as it has these big old glitters running throughout, I would suggest a peel off base coat. You could soak this off with acetone, but these glitters will hang on for dear life. Trust me, I've experienced it. The next polish that is up is No Strain, No Gain. Now, this is a red jelly polish with these red asymmetrical, black asymmetrical flakies running throughout, and teeny tiny, what looks like I'm catching little itty bitty asymmetrical hollow glitters running throughout. Now, I did build up this polish in 3 coats because that's how I got full opacity, but when I actually wear this, I will only be wearing it in 2 coats. I found that these flakies just did not lay down the nicest, so they all kind of poked up. Like every single one of my fingers, I had a flaky that would poke up. That's totally normal for polishes like this, but again, a glitter grabber or doubling up on your top coat gonna help just so much. I do feel like this polish would make a good topper. I didn't get the chance to swatch it out as a topper. Maybe by the time this comes out, I will have gotten the chance because I'm really behind my swatching. And I really wonder how well this would work over a red based polish. I could get No Strain, No Gain, opaque in 3 coats. I would not recommend it in 3 coats. 3 coats was a bit much. And as this is a flaky, glittery bomb, I would suggest a peel off base coat. Oh my goodness gracious. This would be a nightmare to remove with acetone. You could soak it off. You can, it's gonna be fine. I'm just dramatic. Okay, this time I did talk for long enough, but then I swatched it as a topper. I feel like this polish worked really, really well over red, black, and surprisingly green. Honestly, I didn't think it would work that well over this many polishes. I thought it would work over red and then I'd be like, yeah, that's how I predicted it, but it kind of worked over several shades. The next polish that is up is 28 Shades Later. Now, this is like a deep, plummy base polish with this beautiful blue shimmer running throughout. This is a very like shifty polish and I absolutely adored it. Now the brand describes this as a multi-chrome. Maybe it does have a multi-chrome base, but I am not really seeing multi-chrome too much. I am just seeing a pure, just lovely, elegant shimmer. Now, I was actually really worried about this polish when I swatched it out. I was like, will I be able to build this to opacity? And I was able to in 3 coats. I thought for sure that this would not be able to be built to opacity on like my nails and my extreme stainage and my extreme smile line. I was like, this isn't gonna happen, but I was able to get it fully opaque. I am a mall goth thriving with this polish on. I could get 28 Shades Later opaque in 3 coats. And as it is a simple shimmer formula, it is easily removed with acetone, no peel off base coat required. The next polish that is up is The Walking Bread, another reference I understood. The Walking Bread is this lovely bronzy base polish with this green to gold shimmer running throughout. Now, I found that shimmer to be quite understated. You're catching that green at like extreme angles, and I'm predominantly seeing that gold, which is lovely. There's also these holographic glitters running throughout and these small orange glitters running throughout. Lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, in my notes, I just wrote lovely kitchen sink. Because that's what this is. This is a kitchen sink, and I absolutely love it. And it does kind of feel like whole wheat bread. I can get the walking bread opaque in 3 coats. And as it is this kind of like glittery bomb, I would suggest a peel off base coat. You could soak it off with acetone. I'm not going to. Shame, cats, ding ding. Shame, cats, ding ding. Shame. And the last polish that is up is Shaun of the Dead-land. It is this lovely purple polish with these lovely orange glitters running throughout. Now, I believe those orange glitters are also reflective, and just, the way they hit the light is just so satisfying. I'm also getting these lovely asymmetrical hollow glitters in here, and it just creates this spectacle on the nails. This is a true Halloween polish, and I feel like it's a touch Mardi Gras as well, you know? I can get Shaun of the Dead-land opaque in 2 coats. And as it's another kitchen sink, I would recommend a peel off base coat. You could soak it off with acetone. You know what I'm gonna say next. Okay, this is like 99% my fault, but I did start including low light photos, so I'm just not used to having to talk for an X amount of little bit more time, so this is, you know, my fault, but not my fault, okay? For my top favorites of this collection, it has to go to You've Got Red on You, Dawn of the Dead, Double Tap, and 28 Shades Later. These all just scratched an itch in my brain, and I just adored them to bits. So again, the full collection launches September 19th. Each bottle will retail for $13.50 USD, and Apocalypse nail polish comes in 15 milliliter bottles. So, what did you all think of this collection? I am just so excited that we're finally getting into the spooky season. I love this season for nail polish so much. Just autumnal shades are my favorite, so I'm easy to please. And thank you again so much, Apocalypse Polish, for sending these my way. I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye! This polish, these, which I would 100%, I could get Fred if you're real. I swatched out Apocalypse Polish. Now for the other half of this